Hello, I'm Bill Greer, President of Smart Recovery USA.
And I'm Mark Ruth, the Executive Director of Smart Recovery USA. On behalf of our past, present, and future SMART leadership team and our worldwide SMART community, we'd like to share with you several extraordinary presentations from our 2019 Silver Anniversary National Conference.
We hope they will inform your work and inspire your service to SMART. Together, we will embark on our next 25 years of helping individuals and families recover from addiction and find balance and purpose in life.
It's certainly an honor to be up here. I have to start by saying that Dr. Joseph Gerstein is definitely my All-American hero. Over 25 years ago, he was involved with rational recovery, recognized the virtue of the scientific approach, the CBT, REBT things, but he also recognized the shortcomings of rational recovery, the for-profit motivation, but also the denigration of other recovery organizations. We have certainly still suffer, in fact, some of Leslie's comments still suffer from the fallout from rational recovery's attack on AA. We are all in this together. We all have a goal, the same goal, which is to maintain recovery. We have to recognize that there's no one path to recovery. I'm a corporate organization tax attorney. I don't have the science behind me, but I enjoy organizations and I know my own walk. I know that through AA, I learned the Serenity Prayer, and I recite it every day. I know that through Refuge Recovery, I concentrated on learning mindfulness and meditation, and I try to use that exercise every day. I know that Smart Recovery saved my life. But these tools that I've gathered are tools that I've gathered from a lot of different perspectives. And I've created my own unique tool belt, my own method of maintaining my sobriety. Certainly part of that is being a facilitator in SMART meetings and learning every time I go to a meeting. Now the idea, however, is that I gained those insights when I was in rehab, 50 days of rehab. $40,000. Now I certainly bonded with those people. I became very, very close to the people that I was with. We shared everything. We shared things that I didn't share with anybody else. Nobody knew it. And I became very, very close to those people. And that exchange and that bonding was part of what helped me to be able to go back out into the world. And of course, there was the plan to go back out into the world, and when I did, I was sold on SMART. In fact, I was studying to be a facilitator before I walked out of that rehab facility. But there was a SMART meeting in Holland, Michigan that I went to. There was an AA meeting in Granville that I went to. And so I would have an hour here with my counselor. I would have an hour and a half with SMART. I would have an hour in my AA meeting. Fortunately, I had a driver's license, so I could get there. But when I decided to become involved as a facilitator, we had an enlightened AA group. The AA group had a building, and it's at 1020 College in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I encourage you all to go see it. In that building, we had all of the AA programs, but we started Smart Recovery, Refuge Recovery, Recovery Yoga. Obviously, I don't go to that class. But there were a lot of different programs, Overeaters Anonymous, Zen Recovery. And what happened was, it was a boon for all of the people that were having to go through recovery. Because you got these white slippers. We all know who the white slippers are. They're the ones that have to go and get there's the slip sign. They're also the ones that typically don't have their driver's licenses, have a hard time getting to the meetings. But this was a great deal for them. They could come and they could go from meeting to meeting to meeting. And then they could go into the cafeteria, and they sat and they talked to each other about what they liked about this meeting, what they didn't like about that meeting, and where you'd recommend you'd go. They'd go out and have cigarettes together. We even have a library. If you had some time between the meetings you're going to go to, let's go to the library. And then what did we have in that library? Smart handbooks and other materials. What happened was that same bonding experience that we enjoyed in our rehab stint, we began to capture there. The same people would come back. That building is open from 8:15 in the morning till 8 o'clock in the morning till 9:15 at night, 365 days a year. We are a designated cooling center. We are a designated warming center where people can come. We have over 1,000 people a week that come through that building now. We have over 14 separate programs. When I started Smart Recovery there, we had 2 meetings and had maybe 20 people a week. That was 3 years ago. 3 years later, we've had 624 meetings in the last 15 months. We have had, in the last 15 months, over 8,500 seats, people sitting and attendees at that meeting. Because of anonymity, I can't give an exact number, but I would estimate conservatively that over 1,500 people sat in on a SMART meeting for the first time. Now, you can accomplish that if you have a recovery center. I have to say that when we look at the program that they have here in Chicago, the Above and Beyond Recovery Center, it took a little wind out of my sails because that is what we're talking about. When we listened to Dr. Kelly, he talked and referenced the fact that the recovery center is effective. We listened to that little 5-minute blurb, and it talked about a tool belt and not just tools that you received from SMART. What we are discovering is that given the opportunity, given the convenience of one person being able to go to one place, the problems that are happening when people leave the rehab facility, that instead of going back to that same place, that same circle of friends, and we all know what happens after that. If you don't change your circle of friends, if you don't change your activities, you have a higher incidence of relapse. But instead, I came to this facility. I now number my very best friends as friends that I've met at that facility. We sit and talk about what we all been sitting here and talking about for the last 2 days. And my emphasis then is on the importance of creating those facilities. Excuse me. Now, my background as a business corporate attorney and dealing with real estate really doesn't help me in dealing with creating charts and statistics. But each one of you have in your folder this handout. And I hope that you find it at some point in time. At the top it says Creating a Recovery Community, the Grand Rapids Model. The idea is that we have to have one central place that anybody can go, that we need to offer a variety of programming. It needs to be well run, it needs to be well financed, and it needs to have diverse programming. Now, how do we do that? You usually think the facility is the biggest problem. It's not anymore. The facility is not the problem anymore. When I started practicing business law, I represented small hardware stores. This is 40 years ago. Small hardware stores, small restaurants, small manufacturing facilities. Well, what happened? The manufacturing facilities all closed up, most of them, because they got taken out. Then the small businesses got wiped out by the big box stores, more empty buildings. Now what's happening Amazon's wiping out the big box stores. So don't tell me there aren't any facilities in your community that you can't find. Now, I represent those business guys that own those buildings. You know what they're dealing with? They are pissed off. They're pissed off because they can't get any tenants. They've got to pay insurance, they've got to pay maintenance, they've got to pay taxes, and they don't know what to do. But we created a 501c3. You can create a 501c3. Maybe SMART can create a 501c3 for us, where a person can come and we can say, hey, we've got a deal for you. Not only will it give you great publicity because you're here to donate a building to a recovery community, but you can get this great tax deduction. It works. We need to start this now. We need to start it now because the buildings are there. We need to start it now because the public is so acutely aware of the opioid crisis, the fentanyl crisis, that you have the opportunity to make that move and to create something like the facility they have here in Chicago. Now, it's not easy to do, but I've got an outline here that you can refer to, and this outline is an outline of what we've done in Grand Rapids. First and foremost, you need solid, dedicated leadership. You need people coming from diverse areas within the recovery community and willing to donate their time. We have on our board, we have recovery councils, we have social workers, we have 2 attorneys, businessmen, SMART facilitators, AA facilitators. We can't get our accountant there, we do have a banker, but we even have a rehabilitation owner that's on our board. How do we do that? We do that because we network. We network here, and we talk about how great it is to network SMART facilitator to SMART facilitator, and it is. But what about networking with private and public rehab facilities? We've gone and talked to them. They talk to us. Do you know today we have these little minibuses that are coming in all the time from all these different rehab facilities? We're part of their curriculum. And the people can get there and they can choose, well, I'll go to an AA meeting, I'll go to a refuge recovery meeting, I'm going to go to Overeaters Anonymous, I'm going to go to SMART. And they change it up and they get to know. And what do? They go back and they talk to each other about what did they like about this and what did they like about that. And if they're fortunate enough to live in the Grand Rapids area when they get out of rehab, they already have their preferences. They've already met people there. They already have a small circle of friends. They have a place to go. It's warm. It's safe. You can get something to eat. You can read. You can relax. It is that safe environment. It's the convenience and the opportunity to be able to get exposed to all these different programs, to develop your own unique tool belt that is the most effective for us. The results to me are phenomenal. We have over 1,000 people a week that come through that facility now. We have continued to work on networking. There's a local probation department, 63rd District Court, where the probation officers have they raise money for charities once a year at a gala. They donated those proceeds, the probation department of a court, to us. We have local foundations. The Grand Rapids Foundation, the biggest foundation in the area. For those of you from the Midwest, Myers, the chain of grocery stores, their foundation donates. Several of the still existing manufacturing concerns donate. Why? Because we've gone out, we've reached out to them, they've heard about us. The local NBC affiliate listed the 10 best charities in the Grand Rapids area. We were listed. We have worked with local government units. We have worked with hospitals, local businesses that have charitable histories, and we've used social media. You'll find a citation there, the Alano Club of Kent County. It was originally an Alano Club. There are 3 SMART facilitators that are on that board of directors, though. If you go to that website, you'll be able to learn a lot more about what we do. If you have the opportunity to get into the programming in there, you'll be able to see all the different programs that we have. And it has worked, but it doesn't have to be just a big city. Grand Rapids is not a huge city, but you can scale it to your own communities and to your own needs. You can help to create more meetings, but you need to have effective leadership. You need to find people who are absolutely dedicated, that will reach out and that will network and that will bring the financial support necessary. Besides grants, we collect dues at each meeting. We have membership dues. We get donations. We have, as I've mentioned, foundation grants, government grants. We have cafeteria sales, and we do fundraisers. Again, it takes a lot of organization, but we have people that are dedicated enough to do it. A lot of them alumni of our programs. A lot of them the people that are giving back. And so I would encourage you to take a look at the outline. You'll see that we talk about effective dedicated leadership, thorough active networking, creating a safe facility, and having multiple sources of financing, having diverse programming, offering all kinds of alternatives so that the people can find the right tools that will work for them in their recovery. I thank you for your time. You could, the idea here is to hopefully go back and think about it in your own communities. Because if we create a recovery community, and if we have activities like pancake breakfasts and taco Tuesdays and barbecue picnics and open mic night, and do those kinds of activities, we do truly create a community. We do truly create the opportunity for people to come together and have the social interaction that we desire. So thank you very much for your time.
If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to Smart Recovery's YouTube channel. And don't forget to click the notifications tab to receive automatic updates every time we add new recovery-related content to our channel.